Today, I'll build a system for a community member that got paid $4,500 within an industry that's printing money right now and it will continue to do so in 2026. For some context, I recorded a video about this, which is basically how to prepare for Q1, which is the period between January and March 2026. And I talked about this exact niche, which is the biotech niche. Now, to my surprise, a couple days later, a community member with no experience went for it and made $4,500. So I'm recording this to give you guys value in terms of how I would build this sort of stuff, starting from scoping the project all the way to automate the entire system. So let's get into it. Biotech client secured, $4,500 upfront. First client. Just closed my first client in the biotech industry. $4,500 upfront, $8K total. Yeah, I'm not even surprised about the $8K because like I told you guys, this industry, the biotech industry, they don't actually flinch at like $8 to $10K because they sort of like understand the value. And paradoxically, if you even pitch less than $4K, they're going to think you're not legit, right? The morning before the call, I watched the entire 2-hour gold call. Saad explained about the biotech industry. I took notes, internalized everything, and literally used the same frameworks on the call, and it worked. Yeah, if you guys don't know, it was Friday, right? And I essentially just did like a 2-hour sales training call on how to basically just sell this sort of stuff. And I believed we picked, so the way it works, just to give you guys some context, is that a member acts as a prospect, the other member acts as a closer, and I just essentially just give a feedback. And I took this from Alex Hormozy. When he was training people in Gym Launch, I believe, he would essentially just get people to, or like get his staff or like sales reps to essentially just role play. And he essentially just give them like feedback as they go, right? And it's way better because people now get to learn and get feedback like on the go live, right? Which is really good. And usually it's like 1 hour. So last week I've done like 2 hours, like why not? I had like the entire evening free. So I was like, let me just do it and just treat people for like a 2-hour sales call. And I really enjoyed it. And we actually picked the biotech industry. And after that, we went through like every sales objection on the planet. It was basically just like I had to caffeinate a lot for this call. I think I drank like 2 monsters. So I should probably not do that next time, but I don't have everything figured out yet. Fulfillment, delivery, communication, it all feels like a new level unlocked, but I know I'll be able to do it. I like this. This is really, really good. I don't have everything figured out. Fulfillment, delivery, communication, it all feels like a new level unlocked, but I know I'll be able to do it. That's really good because if you always know deep down that you will be able to put it off, nothing will stop you in life, right? Like deep down, just make sure to say, I'll always be able to figure it out, right? So now that you are watching this, of course you'll be able to do it, right? Doesn't make anyone a genius to close a 4K deal or like do anything in life, right? I mean, if you go outside, there's like trillions of dollars in concrete, right? So the money is already there. For anyone still in the trenches, keep building and stop waiting to feel ready. You'll never feel ready. I spent 6 months doing random video editing and never made more than $1,000. This shit works. Yes, that's so true. I like this message right here. Keep building, stop waiting to feel ready. Yeah, obviously you'll never be ready. When I was making like 10K a month, I was not ready to 20K a month or like 30K a month. And when I was making to 30K a month, I was not ready for 50K a month, right? It's all like you must proceed. This is like a really good quote. You must proceed with no certainty, right? This should be your mantra. You must proceed with no certainty, right? Because that's how life is, right? That's how we acquire knowledge, money, resources, etc., right? So I spent 6 months doing random video editing. Like a lot of people actually that come in, they've been doing like random stuff like video editing, maybe building AI agents, trying cold outreach, trying to do LinkedIn outreach. And I really, really understand, right? Because when you first get started, maybe even if you're not getting started, like maybe you've been doing this for a while, there's a lot of noise outside, like hundreds of ways to do things, right? So it's very, very hard to get overwhelmed. That's why like having a clear roadmap is everything, right? Like the roadmap is everything. Saad, can I get my first client award? Of course, my friend. Yeah. And this is kind of like the transaction. I really like this Stripe notification. Stripe did a really good job in terms of like this color right here. Just smells money. You guys can just smell money from here, right? From this screenshot. Anyways, so let me walk you guys through what his client actually does in very, very simple terms. And we're going to scope out a project, like I said, and we're going to build it from scratch, right? So his client, which is very, very cool, his client is a biotech company, like I said, that makes really, really sensitive machines that can find tiny proteins in blood samples. Very cool, right? Which is the reason why I like this industry. It's very cool. It's very innovative, right? Doctors and scientists use these machines to test if their new medicines are working properly before they give it to sick people. So like I said, I really like this company that he just onboarded. Now his client wants to talk to founders, CEO of pharma companies, just like I said, like bingo, jackpot. Like I told you in the last video, like 99% of like companies within this industry, they want like a system that connects them with pharma companies. So he wants to talk to founders, CEO of pharma companies, recently funded. If you're wondering what recently funded means, it's just they got money from investors, right? So what he's going to do is basically just going to build a system that's going to connect his clients, which is the biotech company, right, to their ideal clients, which is pharma companies. So he's not going to sell anything. He's just going to connect party A to party B, which is pure connection framework, right? Just connecting two people who need each other, just haven't found each other yet, right? This is like the whole psychology or like mental model behind it, right? So I'm going to go ahead and scope out this project. From the get-go, I can tell this is going to be very, very straightforward and simple. And even if you've never like done this before or built something like this before, you're going to be able to follow along because we're going to be using no-code tools, right? Just make.com. It's going to be very, very simple, couple modules. I'm going to scope it right now, okay? So like I said, they want like a system that will connect them to CEOs at pharma companies. So from the get-go, I can tell whenever, and this is something that you guys can also take, whenever someone says CEOs of recently funded companies, the first idea that should come to your mind is Crunchbase. Now, what is Crunchbase? Crunchbase is basically like a platform. Let me go to Crunchbase. So Crunchbase is basically like a platform, like a lead sourcing database where you can find recently funded companies. You can find investors for like any company. Investors come in here to kind of like just find recently funded companies, and like also it's used for sales prospecting, right? Finding companies that were recently funded. What does that mean? Well, and why we need it, right? The reason why we need it, or the reason why we use it, is because when a company gets money from investors, i.e., gets funded, they have money, right? That's the simplest way to put it. They have money, which means they will be able to invest in sales systems, sales development, lead generation, etc., which is exactly what we want, right? So it would be a good idea also, since you are watching this, to go for Crunchbase and kind of like just extract the data from Crunchbase. And it's very, very straightforward and easy. You're just going to use Apify, which is Apify like as a marketplace for scrapers, which is this one. We're going to be using this scraper to extract the data, which is the Crunchbase. So you can use it, right, in terms of like building out a system to get clients for yourself, or like when you want to build a system that connects your clients with their ideal client, right? So Ultimate Crunchbase Search Scraper, this is really good from this guy, Curtis Coder. It's $5 for 1,000 results, which is very, very good, honestly. Because here's the thing, if you want to extract or like export the data from Crunchbase, it's $100 a month. So we don't want that because there are scrapers that allow us to do this, right? Nobody's going to pay. I mean, I don't know what they're thinking, right? Like nobody's going to pay $100 for 2,000 credits or like 2,000 companies when you can get 4,000, right? For how many? $20, right? Nobody's going to do it, right? But that's good. That's what we're going to be doing, right? We're going to use Crunchbase using this scraper. Okay. So step one is going to be step one. Let's keep it green, right? Because it's a biotech industry. I like this color green. So step one is system scrapes Crunchbase. Now, the cool part about Crunchbase is that it gives you everything. It gives you the company name, gives you the company description, it also gives you what we want, which is, you guessed it, founders and CEOs. So essentially, people don't know about this, but you can set up filters in Crunchbase and add those filters in your table. I'm going to show you how to do it to add additional data. It's kind of like an enrichment, right? People just get the companies and they're like, where's the decision makers? But you should add it manually, right? You just add it and then export it. And a lot of people actually don't know about this. So it scrapes Crunchbase and we're going to get the company description, founders, the website too. So everything that we need, right? It's already there in that lead sourcing database. So I'm just going to automatically scrape it. Okay. So once we do that, since the system is going to get us the company names, the company websites, the CEOs, everything, also the description, and also the last founding date, the actual series name, is a series A, B, C, the actual money that they made, and also investors, by the way, investor names. So we can do something pretty cool. So scrapes Crunchbase, and then since we're going to get, like I said, the full name of the founders plus their websites, so system enriches. So what is enriches? Essentially just like a fancy way of saying finds the emails or like adds more contact details, because the goal is we want like an email. Okay, so system enriches. So we're going to get the emails, probably going to be using like Prospero or like an email finder, which is my usual stack. And then step 3, we're going to have to do something really cool, which is system generates outreach copy using AI. So using AI, and it's going to be tailored to what? These pharma companies, right? These pharma companies, going to make sense to them. We're going to use their lingo. We're going to train AI to kind of like just generate this output, and it's going to be very, very straightforward, right? The prompt is going to be simple. I'm going to leave it in the blueprints as always, so do not worry about it. Okay, so this is kind of like the system, very, very straightforward. All we got to do right now is simply just go to Crunchbase and start building our lists, right? And we're going to drop it into Epify and then go to make.com, and it kind of like just automate the hell out of it. So step 1, I'm going to keep make.com open, right? Here. And I'm going to go to Crunchbase. By the way, how do I get Crunchbase? Well, simply type in Google Crunchbase free trial. And then this is exactly what I did. So you want to try Crunchbase Pro for free. So this is the one. 7 days. You're just going to plug in your credit card, which is essentially what I did. What I did. Let me go here. Thank you for the onboarding. And if I go to this right here, which is account settings, you will notice that your free trial will end in like 6 days, which is really good. You can keep getting free trials, by the way. Don't tell them, right? So this is Crunchbase. And then what you want to do once you get that, right? Once you get the Pro, because you need the Pro, so you can get access to, I believe, like 4 million companies. You want to go to advanced search and you want to go to companies. Okay, now this is really good. It's kind of like Apollo, right? It's kind of LinkedIn, and you got every single thing here. You got they like recently added this AI search builder. It's not really that good because it's still beta, right? Whenever like a company introduces something with AI, they just want to slap AI on it, right? So that's fine. We're just going to use the overview here, which is going to be manually, because that's way better, because you get to see the data in real time, right? So the way you do this, you want to go to overview and you want to go to industry. You want to type in bio technology, right? So we already at like 47K. You want to add pharma. Yeah, pharmaceutical, biopharma. So we already added all of them. So 74K. Financials, what you want is, okay, so pharma companies recently funded. So don't go for pre-seed, because they still are asking money from investors. Don't go for seed, go for series A, B, and C. Right. That's pretty good. And in terms of like a last funding date, I'm going to do past year, which is pretty fresh. Yes. I'm going to go to company status. Always make sure it's for profit, right? And I'm going to add a medical device. Yeah. Precision medicine too, and medical. Let me check. Alternative medicine too. Bio. Let's see. Biotechnology is already there. Healthcare. Yeah. Health diagnostic. And we want mHealth too. Healthcare too. Okay. So Open Evidence, Heidi Health, Noel, Metsera, Nilo Therapeutic. Harnessing neural circuits to restore immune homeostasis disease. Yeah. So Nilo launches with 101 million Series A to target neural work. Yeah. Kim Seth as the CEO. Yeah, this, like I told you, there's a lot of money here. This is just like the pharma industry, right? Okay. So that's pretty much all I want. By the way, here's what you want to do, which is very important. This is like the most important thing here, is you want to click on this plus button and you want to go to edit table view and you want to add founder. I already got here my own parameters already ready because I always make sure it's there. Team founders, always make sure to add all of these. So just type in founder. Okay. Basic info. Don't like this LinkedIn. You don't really need this because we already got what we want. Make sure to add this crucial website. Okay. Because if with no website or full name, like how can you find like other contact details? Description. This is like basic description, etc. Once you got that, now only thing you have to do is just copy this, then go back and click on try for free. We're going to use the scraper and Amplify. And then all I got to do is just simply just plug this here. This is the social list URL. Do not get intimidated if you see this cookies. The only thing you have to do is just download a cookie, which is download the cookie extension, which is edit this cookie. So this extension is basically like just allows the scraper to kind of like just get your session cookie, which is kind of like your ID, and kind of like just log in on behalf of you, right? I already got it here. So all I got to do is go back to Crunchbase and you want to go to their extensions, edit this cookie. You want to click on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5, okay? So count to 5 and copy this. Click on cookies, copy to clipboard. Oh, let me go back. Crunchbase. And then you simply just want to paste this here. There we go. And just copy this again. Paste this here. And then in terms of like the total numbers of records, we can scrape whatever we want. We can scrape 1200. So we're just going to put 1200. And then in terms of the custom proxy, always make sure it's residential. Run options, no timeouts. And I'm simply going to click on save and start. And that's it, right? And close all these tabs. So all I got to do right now is just let the scraper do its thing. And yeah, it's going to take us probably like 4 minutes or something, right? So still working. I'm going to wait a little bit. As you can see, system info API. Whenever like you use or like plug in your session cookie from like edit this cookie, you're going to notice that there's this little thing here, this line, right? So we're going to find the data that we want in the output right here, right? So we're just going to have to wait a little bit while the scraper is scraping or getting the data for us, right? All right, done. So we just scraped 1200, as you can see, which is 1200 right here, right? So all we got to do, but first, let me walk you guys through what we got. So we got the description, we got the company type, we got the funding stage, which is late stage venture, early stage venture, Series A. We get the funding total, how much money. That's a lot of money, right? We get the last funding type, which is Series C, be exactly what we picked right earlier. We get the location, the name, open evidence, number of funding rounds of 5. That means like when a company gets funded like 5 times, that means like they have like they solve a real life problem, right? Like a real life problem, which is kind of like what this client actually does, right? Very, very cool. Like making really sensitive machines that can find tiny proteins in blood samples, right? It's very, very good. We get the website, we get everything. So what do we do now? Well, simply we're just going to go to storage, right? You see this dataset ID? This is where everything, like all the data that we extracted is. So step 1 is we want to go to settings. We want to authenticate or connect our Epify account to Make.com. So you want to copy this personal API token. Always go to this API token, right? And then you want to go to Make. You want to create a new scenario, right? Make.com is basically a no-code tool. Everything's going to be no-code. So everything's going to be easy, right? So you want to look for Epify. It's kind of like my usual step is I always try to get the data from Epify. And you want to connect your Epify account. So you want to go to connection type. You're going to go to Epify token because we chose Epify token. And you can name this whatever you want. So it's going to name its first client or word biotech. And all I got to do is click on save. Sweet. The data set is, remember when I told you the data set, which is going to be here? Go back, so copy it, and then simply paste it here. In terms of the total number of records, which is the limit, just put 1. Like I always say, always start with 1. So you kind of like just see the data, etc., build the system, then run the entire thing from the beginning, right? Run the entire records. So let's just run this. So we get the company name, we got the website, we got the founders, right? Daniel Nadler. We get the description. So this description is going to act as context for AI when generating the good copy or like the outreach. And we get everything, right? The category. So it's a clinical trial, medical. Yeah. It's also a SaaS. Really good. So what we're going to do is we're going to name this Get Pharma Companies. And then step 2 is we want to feed in, like I said here, feed in the first name and last name to an email enrichment platform is going to find the emails. Now, in his case, he's simply just going to use the SSM masters. And by the way, new update, we just included the job scraper, right? So all we got to do is simply just scrape jobs by going to LinkedIn jobs. Let's say you want to scrape companies hiring for sales, right? Good signal, because if a company is hiring for sales, that means they need sales reps, which means they need help with getting clients, which means we can sell them sales systems. Also, if you're working or like trying to go for recruitment, obviously a system needs to find companies hiring. Well, how do we find companies hiring? Well, companies post about it in LinkedIn and LinkedIn jobs. So the scraper that we built, actually, I did not build it. It was a person in the community that built it specifically for people. And you simply just give it, for example, SDR here. You just give it this URL, and it gives you the decision maker, their email, etc. And it uses our own platform to find the emails, validates them, and just gives you everything. You click one button and you send it to whatever you want. Google Sheets, like instantly, which is the cold email software. So it's very, very cool. But we already got the endpoints. I actually launched it today, and people are using it, and they're so happy about it, which is really good. I mean, I'm all about like delivering value and giving value to people, because my goal is to get 1,000 people to 10K a month, which I think it's going to take a little while, but that's the whole point, right? Okay, so in his case, he's going to use this, but in your case, since you are watching this, I'm going to give you guys, like you guys already know my stack, which is an email finder. I used to use this like a long time ago, actually. When they first got started, like I paid them a lot of money. That was like before I built my own platform. But yeah, it's really good. It's literally the same. What I've done is I just copied their entire way of like finding the emails, right? Because I'm all about like, instead of like trying to come up with something on my own, I just copy what already works, right? Which is something that you guys need to do too. There's someone who said this. It was Isaac Newton, I believe. He said, the only reason I was able to see a little farther than other men is because I stood on the shoulders of the greatest, which means like knowledge does not, like you do not acquire knowledge or wisdom or money from just trying to come up with things on your own. You need to go to the source and look for people or find people that already got what you wanted or like got closer, and you simply just build from there, right? That's how he came up with like all these inventions and stuff. So all you got to do is just want to copy this thing, right? This is your API key. And then it works just as fine, by the way. Go to an email finder, search for a person's email, and you simply just want to add this here. Let's name this first line of word biotech, and you want to save. Okay. The way they do this is basically they try to ping. You want to search by domain, by the way. They try to ping domain at, for example, this guy's first name, right? And they try, for example, let's say my company domain is myoprocess.com. They're going to try sign.myoprocess.com. Okay, if it works, that's good. If it doesn't, then it's not there. So all you got to do is just feed in the website here that we got along with the founder. So the founder here, which is value, save. and you want to click on run once. Let me check if I'm recording. Yes, I am. Okay. So that was quick. Okay, Daniel at Open Evidence. See, like I told you, they tried Daniel and didn't try like a lot of variations or like it's called permutations. They tried Daniel, boom, it found it, right? Because we just gave it the name, the inputs. See, domain is domain, and we get the full name, which is the input. So they tried Daniel, boom, found it. And I believe they tried the first name the first time, right? They tried first name Daniel, okay, found it. If they didn't found the email now, they would try Daniel or like just the last name, Nadler at, or like DN, or like Daniel N, or like Nadler N, or, you know? So hopefully that makes sense. So it's going to be find CEO email. So very straightforward, as you can see, it's very simple. Now, since we found the email, right, well, will we go from here? Well, already like 50% of the flow is already done. We do 50% of the system. So system generates outreach copy. Now I already built like a prompt for this guy that I just closed the clients because I hopped on a call with him and he walked me through the onboarding, etc., which is like the whole, like the entire value of this first client award thing is I hop on a call, etc., and I just build them like kind of like a strategy, etc., kind of like a system. And I already have like a prompt. So I'm just gonna pull it right now. But before I do that, I'm just going to use Azure because it's going to be my AI model of choice. Again, you can use any AI model that you want. Like I always say, it's not really like I'm very AI models agnostics, unless it's Claude. Honestly, I just love Claude. Claude is really good in terms of like writing emails, etc. And I found that also within my company, when I use Claude in terms of like it's called custom GPTs, or like in Claude is projects. You build like a project and you feed it like a knowledge base. It's way smarter. Sometimes it calls you out, but ChatGPT, I noticed sometimes it just validates what you want, right? And I don't like it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put myself here. It's kind of my SOP right now. Remind yourself to put yourself here so people can actually see what you're doing, especially when I get to this point when I'm adding the prompts. So I'm just going to copy it right now. So here's the prompt. So we're going to get AI to generate like a line that starts with, hey, do you need X, Y, and Z? So you must return a single sentence in this exact format. Do you need more sensitive biomarker detections for your research type? So what I'm doing here is I'm adding the client's offer, which is they provide sensitive biomarker detections. And this is the research type. So AI is going to read through the company description, is going to figure out what kind of research type they have. And you can totally use this in terms of like let's say we're working with like a recruitment or like financial service, any industry. You can say, do you need, and you add the client's offer here for and you're just gonna put whatever they needed, right? Depending on the client's offer, right? I'm just adding rules, right? Like you're talking to a friend, keep it simple. You can simply just copy this entire thing, just make it tailored to your own, like your own clients or like whatever system you want to build. And I'm simply feeding it the company in description. So check this one out. Before I run, I'm gonna add a filter here. So we only want to deal with emails that are found. Obviously, because not all the time an email finder is going to find the emails. Email found, ? And you want to save this. Once I run once, you will notice that AI is going to give me a really good output, which is, do you need more sensitive biomarker detection for your clinical research, right? So I read through it and it found that they are clinical research. So all I got to do right now is simply add the next line. So it's going to be, okay, hey first name, or like, hey, whatever their name is. So it's going to be, hey, Daniel, and I'm going to show you guys how it's going to look at the end. It's going to be very good. So I like to call it the dream email. It's like preparing a cake, like assembling a cake, which is the outreach copy, all purely AI generated. Okay. So, hey, Daniel, do you need more sensitive biomarker detections for your clinical research? A reason why I ask is because X, Y, and Z, I built a system. Now, this is going to be question 101 question. And then I'm going to copy this entire thing, paste it here. I'm going to delete this filter because when you copy a module that has a filter in make, it copies the filter with it. So this is going to be 101 message. So we're going to use the same formula here and we're going to give it a perfect output. And the prompt is going to be, let me delete this. Again, same formula. You must return a single sentence in this exact format. Reason I ask, I built a system that connects their company type with ultra-sensitive detection platforms, and I'm adding a couple of placeholders. So validation purpose, think regulatory benefits with data quality. So this is called the anti-fragile method. And this is a method that I came up with when I was like hovering around like 40K a month. And I noticed that AI is very bad at like writing complete copies or like complete outreach messages, but it's really good at constrained variables. What are constrained variables? Basically like placeholders that you put to AI and give it like a perfect example. And AI is going to read through the perfect example, is going to be like, okay, I understand this. Well, I need to fill out the variables based on the company data that you're going to have to give it, right? Context. And it's going to fill it within those rules, those constrained variables, not just like hallucinate, try to add more, right? Even if you say, hey, 6 to 8 words max, sometimes it's going to mess up. And I'm given like an example, perfect output. So let's run once again. Reason I ask, I built a system that connects health tech companies with ultra-sensitive detection platforms for clinical validations. Think better compliance with rock-solid results. Very good. So all I gotta do right now is simply just add it to a dream email. So I'm using this tool, so set variable, and I'm gonna name it dream email. And all I gotta do is gonna say, hey, and I'm gonna have to put the first name of the person, Daniel. So I get the full name, so I need to use a formula in Make, which is split Daniel, not literally, and then get 1. So the way it works is that you want to like split based off this little space here. You see this Daniel Nadler, there's like a little space between it. So you want to split between that space, okay? And get 1. So encode in the 0, 1, and this is 2, right? 0 is nothing, but it starts with 0. 1, because if you notice I put 0, I'm gonna get nothing. This is 1, this is 2. So hey, this person, and I'm gonna add this right here, and I'm gonna add reason I ask, and I'm gonna add worth making a connection. Cheers, sent from my iPhone. The reason why I add sent from my iPhone just feels like I wrote it using my phone. Just a hack. Like, think about it, you're gonna read all this, asking them something very relevant and timely. We did our homework. Well, we didn't. AI did. And they see sends from my iPhone. They're like, holy, this person just did all this. Sends it from their phone, right? I should engage, right? Okay, so rename the module. I'm gonna name it Dream Email. So check this out. Hey, Daniel, do you need more sensitive biomarkers for your clinical research? Reason I ask, I built a system that connects health tech companies with ultra-sensitive platform for clinical validation. Think smoother FDA approval with reliable data. Worth making a connection. Cheers, sent from my iPhone. So I'm going to add cheers here. And there's a lot of new lines that I don't like here. Let's see. Yeah, that's good, yeah. So all I got to do right now is simply just plug this into a instantly, which is cold email software right here. They recently introduced this black theme. I like the black theme, to be honest. Add new campaign. I'm gonna name this first client word 4K biotech. It's actually 4.5K. $500 makes a lot of difference. Okay, so I got everything here. All I got to do is go to instantly, create a lead. There we go. And yeah, that's pretty much it. All I got to do is just find the campaign that I just created right now. So campaign ID is going to be what? First client reward. The email is going to be the email found from here. The personalization is the copy. And the website, we can definitely add the website. The last name, all we got to do is just copy this. Paste it here, remove this hey. And since we're getting the last name, it's 2. And then copy this. And it's going to be 1 here. Company name is already here. Name. And that's pretty much it. Plug to instantly. Let's save this. Done. There we go. So in terms of the subject line you might be thinking, I'm going to say system or like intro system for first name. And I'm gonna simply just add per. Let me just refresh so I can get the variable. You can just type it or like just open the placeholder and you're gonna find it here, right? There we go. Intro system for Daniel. So look at this. This looks so good. Hey Daniel, do you need more sensitive biomarker detection for clinical research? It just feels like someone like a peer, like a friend. Reason I ask, I built a system that connects health tech companies with ultra-sensitive detection platforms and clinical validation. Think better compliance with rock-solid results. Worth making a connection. Cheers. That's it, right? That's exactly how you sell, right? So check this out. It just looks so beautiful, right? It just looks so sexy here. So yeah, that's pretty much all I gotta do, right? I need to add some error handling because we're gonna send a lot. You want to add a break module always here, and then just copy. Add one and here and here. There we go. And the reason why we're adding a break is because sometimes, let's say we get rate limited from like an email finder or like instantly, the system is gonna wait for, example, 1 minute here and then continue where it stops, which is really good. So we can just go ahead and have our walk, get our coffee, do whatever we want, right? And then after that, the system is just adding everything, right? And I'm going to make sure to go to settings, allow store and have incomplete executions. Actually, this is what I used to do. I used to like launch like a sales campaign, and then I would just put like thousands, and I would essentially do like to bypass the 45 minutes in the make.com, or just do 44 here. Just 44. So every 44 minutes, I'm bypassing that 45, right? And I would just simply just go do other stuff. And then like I click on launch, which is something that I did the last video where I launched like a entire AI service live, and I got sales opportunities within the same day was 4. Make sure to watch it too. There's a lot of golden nuggets in there because I literally did it live. And I essentially just click launch, and the system just keeps scraping and feeding instantly more contacts and more prospects, which is really good. So all I got to do is I'm going to test this for 10 by increasing the limit. Done. Add in this. Done. Downed it. Let's check the second copy, actually. That was done. Hey, Thomas, do you need more sensitive biomarker detection for your clinical documentation processes? Reason I ask, I built a system that connects health tech companies with ultra-sensitive detection platforms for clinical validation, think better compliance with rock-solid results. Drug trials. Yeah, this is exactly there. Hey, Wit, do you need more sensitive biomarker detection for drug trials? Reason I ask is I built a system that connects biotech firms with ultra-sensitive detection platforms like clinical validation. Hey, Claire, do you need more sensitive biomarker detection for regulatory studies? Reason I ask is I built a system that connects health tech companies with ultra-sensitive detection platforms for clinical validations. Really good. So we already got what? 9 from 10. Really good. Awesome. I got everything. So there we go. I'm just going to name this system biotech industry, Crunchbase, any email finder, and 101 question plus 101 message. That way, let's say someone who's gonna download this ends up getting a client within the biotech industry, they can just refer to it because they can see Crunchbase, okay, biotech industry, right? It's way better. So there we go. All right, so hopefully you guys found value in this video. I'm gonna leave you everything that you're gonna need in the description like always. And like I always say, get out there, take action. I believe in you, and I'll talk to you soon. Peace.